Hi students, in this video I want to discuss about the second type of mechanical brakes, that is the band brakes. So band brake is consist of a band generally made up of metal and embracing a part of circumference of the drum. The braking action is obtained by tightening the band. The difference between the tensions of each end of the band determines the torque capacity. So if I take the simple band brakes, so when one end of the band is connected to the fixed fulcrum, then the band is called as a simple band brake as shown in the figure. If I take the sketch, so let T1 tight side tension in N newtons, that is T2 slack side tension in newtons, theta angle of lap in radius, mu will be the coefficient of friction, and capital V will be the diameter of the drum, and M will be the torque of the drum in Newton mm. So ratio reaction will be T1 by T2 is equals to e to the power of mu theta. Braking force F theta is equal to T1 minus T2, or you can say that 2 mt divided by T1. So this is about the simple band brake. You can see that one end of the thing will be connected to fulcrum, the other end will be connected to the lever. So you have to think about the A value and B value, the force T1 and T2, the angle of contact as theta. So taking a moment about the fulcrum, so if I go for the taking the moment about the fulcrum, I have to take T2 into B and F into A. So I want to get that one as force at the end of the lever. F is equals to T2 into B by A. So braking force F theta is equals to T1 minus T2, that is T2 into e to the power of mu theta minus T2, or T2 is equals to e to the power of mu theta minus 1. So I want to get the overall F theta is equals to T2 into e to the power of mu theta minus 1. So therefore the slack side tension will be T2 is equals to F theta by e to the power of mu theta minus 1. Substituting T2 in the equation 1, you will get F is equals to T2 into B by A, 1 by e to the power of mu theta minus 1. If it goes in a counterclockwise direction, so if the counterclockwise direction, tension T1 will be exchanged their places for the same braking torque. The larger force is F is required to operate the brake, so T1 and T2. So taking the moment again, F into A will be equals to T1 into B. So force at the end the lever will be F is equals to T1 into B by A. So I am going to get T1 is equals, F theta is equals to T1 into 1 minus 1 by e to the power of mu theta. So tension on the tight side will be F theta e to the power of mu theta divided by e to the power of mu theta minus 1. Substituting that value, I want to get F is equals to F theta B by A multiplied by e to the power of mu theta divided by e to the power of mu theta minus 1. So this is not, so the thickness of the band H will be of equals to 0.005 into D, and width of the band will be W is equals to T1 by H into sigma D. So sigma D will be the allowable tensile strength in the band. So this kind of brakes doesn't have any self-energizing and self-locking properties. The differential brakes, where you can see that the other end, one end of the differential brake, the two ends of the bands are attached to two fins of the lever at the distance of B1 and B2 from the pivot point as shown in the figure. So previously when you go for simple band, the one end of the string is connected to the fulcrum, but here it will be connected to a different levers. So if it is noted that when the B2 is greater than B1, whenever the B2 is greater than B1, the force must act upwards. If B2 is less than B1, the force should act downwards for the applying the brake. So by taking the moment for a clockwise, T1 into B2 is equals to T2 into B1 plus F into A. So I want to get, by simplifying everything, I want to get T2 is equals to F theta by e to the power of mu theta minus 1. Similarly, by substituting T2 in the first equation, I want to get F is equals to F theta by A multiplied by B2 e to the power of mu theta minus B1 divided by e to the power of mu theta minus 1. So for the brake to be self-locking, the force at the end of the must be equal to 0 or negative. So I want to get, for a self-locking, e to the power of mu theta should be less than or equal to B1. For a counterclockwise direction, by taking the moment, so T2 into B2 is equals to T1 into B1 plus F into A. So T2 B2 minus T2 e to the power of mu theta is equals to F into A, or F is equals to T2 B2 minus B1 e to the power of mu theta by A. So when I want to substitute all the things, I want to get F is equals to F theta by A multiplied by B2 minus B1 e to the power of mu theta divided by e power mu theta minus 1. For self brake locking, the force F must be equal to 0 or negative. So I want to get the condition as B2 should be less than or equal to B1 e to the power of mu theta. That is the condition for a self-locking of a brake. So if B1 is equals to B2, that will be equals to B2. The brake is called as two-way brake. So that kind of brakes, we're going to have a force F is equals to F theta into B by A. So e to the power of mu theta plus 1, e to the power of mu theta minus 1. So let us go for the problems. So let us consider the problem. A simple band brake of drum diameter 600 mm has a band passing over it with an angle of contact of 225 degree. While one end of is connected to the fulcrum, the other end is connected to the brake lever at a distance of 400 meters from the fulcrum. The brake lever is 1 meter long. The brake is to absorb a power of 15 kilowatts at 720 rpm. Determine the brake lever of a rectangular cross section assuming the depth to be thrice of the width. Take the allowable stress 80 megapascals. So this is the sketch given. So given data, diameter, theta is given as 225, power is given, rpm is given, h, the height to the width they given as 1:3 and allowable stress as 80 megapascal. So torque transmitted MT is equals to 9550 into 1000 into n by n. So I'm going to get as 1,98,958.33 Newton mm. So also we know that MT is equals to Ft into R. So I'm going to go for that. So I'm going to calculate the tangential force Ft is equals to 663.2 Newton. And e to the power of mu theta I have to calculate. So e power mu value is 0.3 and theta value I want to get as 225 into pi by 180. For converting that into a radians, I want to get as 3.2482. So assuming the mu as 0.3. For a clockwise rotation, so from the equation 19.151, so I am going to get as F is equals to F theta into B by A 1 by e to the power of mu theta minus 1. So for a clockwise rotation, so F I am going to get as 118 Newton. For a counterclockwise direction, so equation number 19.152, so F is equals to F theta by B, F theta into B by A e to the power of mu theta divided by e for mu theta minus 1. So I want to get F as 383.3 Newton. So considering the lever as a cantilever, so neglecting the effect of T1 and T2, the maximum bending moment MB will be equals to F maximum into RPM, that is N value. So I want to get as 383300 Newton mm. That will be the maximum bending thing. So we have MB by I is equals to sigma B by C. So where I is equals to B1 H1 cube by 12. So where they already given H is in terms of B, that is 3B1. So B1 3B1 whole cube divided by 12. I'm going to get as 27 B1 to the power of 4 by 12. So C, that is H by 2. So I'm going to get as 3B by 2. So it will be 1 by 1.5 B. Substituting all the values over here, so I'm going to get B value in terms of 14.727 mm. So once you got B value, I'm going to get width of the lever as 15 and the thickness of the lever as 45 mm. Let us go for the next problem. A simple band brake operates on a drum 600 mm in the diameter that is running at 200 rpm while absorbing the 15 kilowatt of power. The coefficient of friction is 0.25. The brake band has a contact of 270 degree and one end is fastened to the fixed pin. The other end of the brake to the brake arm of 125 mm from a fixed pin. The stride brake arm is 750 mm long and is placed perpendicular to the diameter that bisect the angle of contact. So you have to determine the maximum effort required to stop the rotation of the drum. The width of 2.5 mm thick steel band, if the maximum tensile stress in it is not exceed the 56 megapascal, and design the lever. So these are the things they asked to calculate us. So the maximum effort. So maximum effort is torque transmitted, you have to calculate first. So MT. So take the formula, substitute capital N and small n values. So I'm going to get as 7,16,250 Newton mm. And we know that MT will be equals to F theta into R. So I want to calculate the tangential force F theta. So F theta I want to get as 2,387.5 Newton. And for a clockwise rotation for the given sketch, so you have to go for the equation 19.151. So equation will be F theta into B divided by A multiplied by 1 by e to the power of mu theta minus 1. So by substituting all the values, I'm going to get actually force F is equals to 177 Newton. Similarly, if I go for the counterclockwise direction, so equation number 19.152, so I'm going to get F is equals to F theta into B divided by A e to the power of mu theta divided by e to the power of mu theta minus 1. So I'm going to get F is equals to 574.9 Newton. So the F maximum will be 574.9 Newton. So I have to find the width of the steel. So for width of steel band, that is width of the steel band, so W is equals to T1 divided by H sigma D. So MT is equals to T1 minus T2 into R. So MT is already calculated, T1, T2 you keep as it is, R I can substitute. And the difference between this, I want to get as 2387.5 Newton. That is nothing but the tangential force. So T1 by T2 is equals to e to the power of mu theta. So I can easily calculate e to the power of mu theta as 3.2482. So I want to get T1 in terms of 3.2482 T2. Substituting this two equation in equation 1, so I want to get W as 3449.46 divided by 2.5 into 56. I want to get that one as 24.69 mm. So once you got that width of the band, that is as 25. So assuming the 4 rivets of 8 mm size is used and this arranged in a 2 rows, hence the band will not be weakened by more than twice of the rivet holes. Considering the rivet hole, the width of the band W is equals 25 plus 2 into diameter of the rivet hole. So I am going to get as 43. So you have to adopt the width of the band as 45 mm. So checking for the stresses, so you can check the stresses of the maximum stress in the rivet, T1 divided by I pi by 4 into d square. So I am going to get a 17.156 Newton per mm square. The maximum crushing T1 by I dH. So I am going to get as 43.12 Newton per mm square, where I is nothing but the number of the rivets and D is nothing but the diameter of the rivets. So these stresses are within the limit. So you can consider the bandwidth as 45 mm. For designing the lever, again you have to calculate the B and H value. So I want to assume a steel of C40 steel as a lever material with the FOS as 3. So first I want to go find out the yield strength from the table 1.5 for a C40 steel. So it will be 328.6, or I can take that one as 324 Newton per mm square. So for F sigma, I am going to divide that sigma y by FOS, that is the factor of safety. I want to get as 109.53 Newton per mm square. So that will be your allowable stress. So considering lever as a cantilever and neglecting T1 and T2, and MB the maximum bending moment, F maximum into A, so I want to get as 574.9 into 750. So I want to get as 4,31,175 Newton mm. So we know that MB by I is equal to sigma B by C. So substituting all the values over here and assuming H1 as 3 times of B1. So I want to get B1 as 13.79 mm. So once you got B value, so thickness of the lever will be 3 times of B. So H is equals to 42 mm.